Welcome back, everybody. We're not yet done with this series. It's 1-1 in Human Tripwires versus KOVA. Human Tripwires just about eke out their map pick in bind, but we're going to be heading to Split next, heading to the streets of Japan to see exactly who is going to come out on top on this one, and this is such an important series. Whoever wins this one is going to come away with a massive boost in their odds of getting into the playoffs. Whoever loses it is going to come out with a massive loss in their odds of coming into the playoffs. So this is really important for both teams. Human Tripwires just want to make this... See, the thing is, if they win this, then they win their next series next week. They pretty much guarantee themselves entry into the playoffs. If they lose this, they really have to fight for their way back in. If KOVA lose this, they're pretty much out. Not completely, but their odds of getting through are not looking good if they don't come away with this victory. And every map they lose is not good for them. But, I mean, it's not all about that. Moxie, what do you think about this last map here?
I mean, I think both teams are actually dreading it, because both teams historically have not had the best of times on Split. Instead, last week we actually got to see, I believe, Human Tripwires lost against Finest 13-3 on this map, and KOVA got beaten by Cars on it. So I was actually very surprised to see it still in the map picks for both of these two. And I think definitely Human Tripwires are looking a little bit more confident and favored going into this one, especially because, you know, a lot of the time they've suffered from having that mental exhaustion in these longer series. They have, it seems, been able to bypass that, at least from what we saw on their bind performance. And yeah, really nice to see Human Tripwires actually going to be locking in Radsky onto the chamber. KOVA still very adverse to that one, still wanting to have these double duelists. They're going to be putting Shed onto the Reyna, but here's the thing, in the matchup between Chamber and Reyna, Chamber gets access to everything the Reyna has, with the condition that the Reyna needs to use it to get a pick. Chamber can just use it when the round starts for free.
Yeah. I mean, I would at this... Whoa, hello! I would at this point call Reyna a full-on comfort pick. There is no strategical reason to pick her, but in the hands of the right person, she can be incredibly effective, which is why I like to see a Reyna every now and then, because if you're really good at Reyna, you can get it done. You can get done more than any other duelist could. Yasmin runs out of bullets, and he will be taken down for his trouble. A headhunter comes into effect for Radsky, but it is just Sutma left. And Radsky can finish it out. It's not going to happen. Sutma with some more heroics. He has not lost his spark from last map whatsoever, but he's still got 3 members to take down if he wants to retake this one. One player sitting well outside of sight. It is Embo, who is just going to be putting up stars and making it difficult for Sutma to get all the way around here. Bides his time. He is going to peek around the corner, but that just slows down Sutma even more. 2 players to take down, one on top of a wall, one below the wall, and you get pulled in by the gravity well. No chance whatsoever. Human Tripwires do not want to give away any momentum in the start of this, start of this map.
Yeah, and I think this is where we're going to see the difference in competition really start to come into play, right? The fact that for the Reyna, yes, you do have the setup that comes through with things like the layer, so you're a little bit more self-sustaining and you stay away from the rest of your team. The problem is that Human Tripwires, if they see the layer, they can either counter flash with Mucka on this breach, or they can wall it up with Robbie on this Sage. And now Radsky can get themselves into position with the Marshal, really punish the fact that KOVA, having lost pistols, are not actually running any armor. So the Marshal now has the exact same death impact as an operator on a full buy round.
Yeah. Well, Split is one of those maps where it's not uncharacteristic to see an eco round go the way of the team on the eco. So really not really many places to go. It's a classic 3-lane map. Mid, 2 sites. You can get to both sites from mid, but apart from that, all good. So it's pretty easy to hold as defense. It's just the retakes that are difficult. Radsky, his spidey senses were tingling. Something's going wrong here. Shed coming around from behind. He sees him in time. He gets out of there with the rendezvous. Yasmin has picked up a Sheriff. Doesn't manage to hit the shot onto Embo, however. The spike is already down for Human Tripwires. It's going to be a big retake operation for KOVA on this one. Sutma doesn't manage to get anything done. It's just Ale with a Sheriff in hand. And that satchel was kind of perfect from Lucky. Not from Lucky, sorry, from DEV0. Just in a way, just keep him back. Lovely bit of crowd control.
Yeah, KOVA, however, now going to be able to buy up into the rifles and can start to put Shed into the places that we want to see Arena. Just go aggressively forward, put a little bit of pressure towards a lobby, then pull back to ramps. The problem is that, well, human tripwires can just make sure that they either avoid that space, duel out only over mid, or then, as we pointed out, really punish the fact that the Reyna, her only exit condition, is activated once you get the pick, something that human tripwires don't really need to rely on themselves.
That's going to be a very happy opening pick for them. I'm not sure what Ale was thinking. Running directly into them. Satchel's in hand with his lovely, tasty-looking rifle. DEV0 now has that. Sutma gets hurt, can't get out of there in time. And it seems like the team that has been affected by the mentality of last map is KOVA, the Vicious, who put up numbers last map, puts up numbers here as well, and Yasmin gets on the board to finish things out. KOVA struggle a little bit. They do close that buy round out.
It's still very expensive for them, however.
Indeed.
They lose 3 of their rifles and now have to buy into things. And you have to know, with human tripwires, seeing the composition that KOVA are running, seeing that their chamber is going to be running rampant at the beginning of these rounds, as long as they can absolutely decimate KOVA's economy, and they themselves can keep buying things like the operator or fall onto the tour de force, they are always going to be dictating how these rounds are impacted. As Shed is once again going to be going for that same sniffer round. Rams has to still try to find the pick to be able to activate the fade. Is not able to hit Robbie, and as such, is punished.
No, just wait again. First pick makes it much easier to win that round statistically and mentally.
Concealment.
It's going to be a lot easier to get through the rest of this round once you've got that opening pick, and the fact that KOVA lost so many members, forcing them onto Spectres this round, just makes that even nicer for you. A sweet deal that just got sweeter. Radsky is going to be forced out of the corner by Ale. Well timed. Just heard that rendezvous, thought, you know where that might be? This corner. He was right. He was
KOVA
right.
don't really know where human tripwires are. They were hoping that the Cypher camera would catch them out if they were moving from lobby onto ramps, but it was a really nice nebula from Embo to block that one. And as a result, they've still had one of their players anchored onto the A site, letting human tripwires onto the B.
30
Out
seconds.
there inside and planting, and it's going to be a lot harder for KOVA. Now put themselves into space necessary, especially with Ali now not having any satchel packs. Ember's gone for a flank around, Vicious is expecting it. Will be able to punish the Astra, so they have lost the controller, but Mucker is 16 seconds out until the fault line. If they want to drop down, they're going to have to do it soon, otherwise it's going to be straight into the concussive.
Yasmin finds ahead of Mucker.
Player standing.
DEV0. We trade here, but Yasmin is doing all the work so far. He's warmed up throughout this one. DEV0 does not want any of that. 3 players left to deal with, and there's really no way to stop them from defusing there, so they will get away with that round. And it's a round they really needed to win. They were not on a nice buy whatsoever, but at the same time, if you don't buy into it, and you don't win it, you're in an awkward place for 2 more rounds to come, so evening things up now, it's a good time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we would say that human tripwires are in an awkward space as well when it comes to that money, but Rasky's got sort of force available. So they're still going to have plenty of threat when it comes to both distance and close range. And if you're KOVA, you really do need to coordinate how exactly you're going to be trying to keep control of either places like screens or mid. And it seems like it will be 3 players just trying to hold mid, seeing that they're not going to be pushed outside that tour de force. You then pull back into vents, but that sets the rolling thunder to come on through, and not having ramps control, you're about to get sandwiched in between DEV0, who's now policing your exit.
Loosen up.
Oh, and DEVO's just taking him down one by one, has to play with the rope, but he gets the kills and gets away with it. Now it's a 4v2, and KOVA are spread across the map. 1 player each site to hold off 4 people, and if they decide to all go together, it's going to make it almost impossible. The teleport up is perfectly timed to take down Mucker, but he still has a big task to keep back these human tripwire players until his teammate can join him. He's currently making his way through sewers, but that's going to take quite a while. Luckily, Sutma, disengages, giving Yasmin enough time to get in towards heaven. Maybe take this back in a 2v3.
Planted.
Spraying into the smoke, looking for just a stray kill to make things easier for the rest of the team here.
Radsky's been able
It's
to
gonna
pull
come
back
down.
though into garage with that
he's
sort
got
of
it.
force. So it must be able to find DEV0. But Embo is still making sure that Heaven stays in Human Tripwire's side.
Enemy
Or is
remaining.
able
Oh,
to
no.
pop out, is able to grab out Ransky. Oh my goodness! He's able to pick out Embo as well. Sutma able to get the defuse and the picks necessary for KOVA to clutch things out.
See, that's the issue sometimes. You know when you have overlapping, you have your little Venn diagram of your rendezvous. I think he thought he was in that closer ones and he would teleport back out into main there, but it did not happen. He teleported directly in front of the weapon.
Yeah.
And Sutma manages to clutch out the round. And what value coming out of that
There
one?
it is.
Oh,
no!
that's so unfortunate. They were so close to each other that
Yeah.
it was down to where he was before he pushed in, and he was just closer. Do that be made?
KOVA
Uh-oh.
now actually feeling so much more confident. Chad's able to find the pick to disengage, leads them into Yasmin. No one checks Raptors. The Cypher Cage evaporates. He's able to find one, activates the second one, and there's LA to clear up. And it's done.
Oh, Human Tripwise are not having a nice time of it now. KOVA have gained a bit of momentum by eking out that round before. Now they have 3 ults available. They're rotating them a little bit. They have full weapons. They have enough money to buy next round no matter what. I'm very happy with this. Human Tripwise, however, are in a little bit of a struggle. They have to win this round if they want to bring things back even.
Well, they've got the showstopper. But it seems like KOVA are going to be setting up for the exact same style of play. Bait them in, let Shed get the pick, fade on out, use that Cypher Cage to disguise your tracks, then set the layer up so that Yasmin can wrap around and get the players trying to push rounds.
You will not kill my ally.
Looking out so far, Shed is farming. Radsky gets a pick onto Yasmin. Vicious, though, gets involved as well. And the res is perfectly timed. The showstopper, a little bit unnecessary, maybe a bit overkill. I think it's the job done. Now all players are still alive. DEV0 is stuck around the corner, and I think they probably know where he is. Shed is just waiting for it, but the slow field is going to make it a little more difficult to get in round on this one. Sutma gets taken. Oh, uh-oh. Shed, you were literally looking there a second ago. Oh, DEV0,
Oh,
DEV0,
no.
DEV0, DEV0. He's waiting.
One,
Shh, wait,
two,
wait.
three.
1, 2, 3! There we go! It's beautiful, and now it's just Sutma left with Yasmin holding up in heaven. Ah, the showstopper doesn't get much, but he finds the head of Yasmin. It's a 1v1 now. He has a spike in his hands. He can rotate back round to B if he wants. I think he's just going to cut noise and wait. He wants this ace. He wants to kill Sutma here. And he's just round the corner. He finds the head of Sutma. Gets the ace. What an incredible trigger control play from DEV0.
Okay, KOVA. Shed was looking at that angle. Razors cannot teleport. I want to see this. Was looking, does not check behind them, and then DEV0 was just like, okay, I can get one. They're still not looking at me. I can get 2, I can get 3, and immediately, I'm just 1 versus 5. No facial necessary, no satchel pack. The showstopper doesn't even land. And Human Tripwire
That's
pull a
BM.
timeout so that DEV0 can probably clip it.
That's BM. Hey guys, you see that play that just happened? Let's sit on that for a little bit. Let's just think. Let's just take a think about what you did wrong here.
Oh my
Yeah?
goodness.
Human Tripwire is rubbing that one in. DEV0, the heel of this server right now.
Yeah, there is, like, there's tactical crouch, and then there's calling a timeout so that they can sink back into what just happened in the previous round. Because KOVA know. They know that they should have had that round. They should have absolutely decimated Human Tripwire's economy. But now, they've left the door open, and Human Tripwires can start to make a return.
Feeling a little bit like Bruno Mars at the moment.
I'm sorry, what?
I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. No?
No.
What? Okay, cool. All good? All good.
I know grenade, which kind of lines up if it had been from a paint shell, but
Human Tripwires. On the attack. Prowling. I mean, quite literally on the attack now. I feel like KOVA are going to be a little scared after that one. Radsky takes advantage. Finds the opening pick into this, the 8th round of the game. KOVA rush over to take space, but Human Tripwires aren't bothered at all. They're not taking anything. They don't want the site. They just sat there.
Look at as well.
And
how
back KOVA go.
cautious
Want to
KOVA
find it?
are. They're not pushing aggressively forward. The Cosmic Fire's going to make things extremely
Oh,
difficult. And Shed can't even
Lord.
escape because there's the fault line coming on through to set human tripwire's path. Right onto that A site.
Flawless.
Do you get the feeling that there may be a little, just a little bit of tilt involved right now on the side of KOVA?
Just a tiny.
Just a little.
Because remember as well, like, KOVA, they needed things to be clean. They needed things to be a 2-0. Then it wasn't a 2-0, and what they needed was map round. They needed things to be a stomp on their side. And the fact that human tripwires and KOVA are still so close is only benefiting human tripwires, not just in the series, but in terms of sneaking a spot into playoffs as well.
This is... I mean, KOVA have such a mountain to climb now, mentally getting over, getting dismantled by one member of a team in a 1v5, throwing away around by not checking one corner, by
Whereas
assuming
not-
that corner was not...
Yeah, I mean, they were checking the
occupied.
corner. They just...
They didn't look into the corner, but they obviously cleared it. Somebody made the call. Somebody went, there's nobody in that corner. They all look towards main. Nobody
Yeah.
even aware. Now KOVA have to bring themselves back from that one, both in-game and mentally. The scoreline is 4-4, but it feels like the scoreline is 13-4 already. Human Tripwires walk their way into B site. Sutton are trying to get some heads down and roll to stop the spike from going down. They do manage to get picks all over the board, but Radsky is coming in from heaven. Not sure they'll be expecting that. They need to look up here quickly. Vicious is prepared, but at least they have the spike in hand.
Yeah, and I mean, they're also
30 seconds
expecting
left.
this chamber to be popping up from any old angle. 27 seconds left. Radsky can try and pick it up, but you are going to be walking right into that crossfire. They know where he is, and they are going to be able to pick him out.
I was gonna say, you just grabbed it and started planting. Fair enough.
There's
Yeah, that'll do
a
it.
lot of confidence. That
That's some
goes into a
solid
play
snake
like
stuff right there. Just dun 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 dun.
It's not quite the stealth level +1 that Radsky is looking for. But hey, you've got Tour de Force now available, and that was something that definitely gave KOVA food for thought on how they were gonna be able to deal with that. In fact, if you remember, this was the reason why they sandwiched themselves in vent, walking right into the trap that human tripwires have been laying. And once again, Rolling Thunder gonna be that alongside Tour de Force.
Oh, there you go. That's one way to bring your momentum back. I like snaps onto the head of the player that had crushed his team's hopes in that one round. And now Robbie backing up, just waiting. They don't want to give him anything more, but Mocha gets the pick onto Shed. I feel like Shed has lost a lot of confidence after that one round. He was the player that was supposed to check that corner. He was the first one round. Out comes an aftershock. They'll move all the way in. Yasmin holds them back. Finds two heads. Picks up a Vandal. That's not got any more bullets. You're still going to need to reload that. But at least he has some breathing room.
Yeah, and momentum now dispersed for human tripwires as well. Like, they hit Yasmin with the Rolling Thunder, but they then run into that trapwire and got concussed, allowing Yasmin the time to bite back. Now Robbie is just going to be trying to move through into the vent. And Yasmin once again going to be stopping any of that. Ember looking for picks. Knows that KOVA's economy is not quite in the safe spot the defense is hoping for. Sees the legs. LA is still going to be able to come out trumps. And KOVA start to pull ahead. They really do have to just get past that round, that ace that came out from DEV0. Because you can see, right, there is adaptation from this team. They're able to hit these mechanical shots. The fact that after getting hit by the Rolling Thunder, Yasmin has the confidence to stay in that position and is able to circumvent human tripwire's entire win condition off of the back of it. Goes to show just how good this team is.
KOVA. They've made it 6. They're making it 1 at the start of this round. Shed finds a second pick. If they can make it 7 hit, they put themselves in a nice position to close this one out, despite getting clipped on. All they need is the rounds. Round by round is how you're going to do this one. Radsky finds Shed in the end, but does get taken down. Embo takes a couple shots to finish that one off, but eventually gets the job done. But the spike is between a wall of KOVA players. It's a long way to go.
Yeah, as you get to see.
There it is.
That split screen coming on through, showing
There it is.
just how far Embo is going to have to go on a magical mystery tour of Split to be able to get back to it.
On your left, you'll be seeing B Heaven.
Covering
As we move forward through the streets of Japan, you'll be walking into the B site. Lots of room for activities around here, but be careful. A little bit of rust. Get your tetanus jabs before you come over. A little rope to play on. And then
30
Bo,
seconds left.
come up through. He's our tour guide. Look, there's a dead body. Hopefully no more dead bodies in here. That doesn't make it a great tourist location, but there will be one more. Only one more. Embo taken down. 7-4 now for KOVA. All they need to do, get one more on the board, and they make their job that much easier.
KOVA feeling a little bit more confident, a little bit more put together. You can see that they have recovered from the round. Their economy has also been able to recover. Jed's going to have Empress to pull back into as well. But it really has been Ally who's been able to make a lot of difference, right? The fact that this Raze has been using Vicious's walls
They don't have
to
a chance.
parkour into higher ground and pick out human tripwires before they can hit that momentum. Paranoia coming out from Sitma in the same way you would see a Breach using that fault line to try and slow down things, but oh, Sitma gets caught in the animation of dark cover, and Radsky's gonna take that every day of the week.
It's currently a Monday, for anybody wondering. Honestly, he'll probably only take it on a Monday or a Tuesday. For the next couple weeks, at least. So, all good. Oh, he gets back out. I was going to say, let's put it away. It's gone. Ali brings it back out. It's trying to catch his ghost, lacking. Pretends he doesn't see it. Turns back around. Smack in the face. Got it. Radsky can't quite find the header Shed, and will get out. DEV0 manages to find Ali there. That is wild. Ali seemed to be hitting shots, but DEV0 is still on 77 AO.
Yeah, and now they know that without that raise, they can try and push out from Garage. Cosmic Divide is going to be blocking off Heaven, so you don't even need to have mid-control to be able to push onto this site. And Vicious gets stuck between the slow orb and the aftershock.
no chance.
Oh, that'll do it. That's one way to get yourself into a 7-5 position.
Switching
Flawless
sides.
round. Still some work to do for human tripwires. It wasn't... I mean, despite the fact that all we can talk about is the fact that DEV0 got a 5k in a 1v5 with some of the best trigger discipline I've ever seen. They are still lower on rounds than KOVA. And KOVA seem to be more comfortable on the attack.
Yeah, for sure. Like, when you look at the composition that they're coming out with as well, like, the Reyna and the Raze should mean a lot of split control when it comes to how this map is formatted. The problem that they're going to be running into is the fact that both Radsky, Mucka, and DEV0 can really stop them from being able to move on forward. And DEV0's got a frenzy. Like, this race is just going to go fast down mid, look for that spray, potentially just climb onto that wall to see if that's going to be coming out from top. But instead, it is just going to be Radsky pushed up, Sentinel for A main, with the Headhunter. Sees the hat, sees the shot. Lifer Cage is going to have to try and disguise Yasmin's movement and force Radsky to stick around a little bit longer.
KOVA on the grand tour. I'm going to head towards A for now. At least the spike is. Radsky is holding that, quite literally, the Sentinel. Headhunter in hand, and all he needs to do is hit these shots.
And you just need to hit one and then rendezvous out.
Nope, not gonna. Nope, he didn't. You jinxed it. He said all he needs to do is hit one, and then he flicked away from the head. It did not happen. Now human tripwires have a little bit more of a task to do to retake this. Aftershock. Nobody there. Look at the spike down. KOVA just need to hold this one away. They haven't had a lot of time to get into nice positions, but their crosshairs are in nice positions, and that's all that really matters.
Embo isn't even able to go for high ground control. Should be able to catch one
Come off.
coming around into side spawn, and Shed will fall. But for now, it is 1 versus 4. And you have to worry about where Sitma is. The second that KOVA see where this Astra is playing, Sitma can start to prowl on forward, and Embo is just being so reluctant, is just looking to see whether or not they're going to be chasing, and Ali does indeed get a little bit too overconfident. Embo will punish, but KOVA still able to take pistols.
Just a little further to go to the finish line for KOVA. I mean, to be honest, this is the best case scenario for all involved. This brings the competition right up to the death, as it were. Human Tripwires win this, KOVA are out completely. KOVA win this. Ooh, things get interesting.
Things get
Obviously, Human
very
Tripwires
spicy.
probably aren't thinking about that. They probably just want to get through, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, things get really spicy for KOVA, right? Because
Exactly.
if they win their 2 games, then they can still go through. It's just the fact that it wasn't a clean 2-0, so it's going to be a little bit more reliant on other teams around them's performance.
Indeed.
It's going to be extremely reliant on how they're able to get onto these sites right now. Jed and Ali both able to get forward aggressively. Human Tripwires not having the weaponry to be able to keep them a little bit further away. Robbie trying desperately to go for a little bit of long-range shotgun action. Not gonna be fine. Cypher Cage coming on out, not letting Human Tripwires move past the stairs, allowing the plant to go through, and now Vicious can just hold vigil. Lovely one-way dark cover, gonna be allowing Shed to move all the way forward once again, making sure that Human Tripwires are just stuck with nowhere to go. And KOVA definitely looking far more comfortable in the offensive.
Yeah. I'm gonna say heartbreak for Human Tripwires, despite the amazing fight they put up second map on Bind there. Despite the amount of incredible plays they've had on this one, it just doesn't seem like they have the overall strategic prowess to beat KOVA out on this one, and KOVA did well on their defensive side and they're more comfortable on attack, it seems like. So if there's any time for Human Tripwires to bring things back, it is now, and they boost themselves up onto a wall in mid, but Shed hits a shot through the wall and hits a second as well into the body of Embo. Devo gets the not trade, but takes down Sutmer at least. That does leave both duelists still alive for KOVA.
Yeah, I mean, Human Tripwires use the wall to be free of their players at the same time as Shed throws a layer out. Catches. Wasn't a few of them, and allows that 1-for-1 to come on through. But not lacking though does mean that you don't have those dark covers. So you're a little bit more reliant on those Cypher Cages to really disguise your tracks. And DEV0, there isn't a lot of punishment for just throwing those satchel packs in to get a read on whether or not you're going to be pushed into mail, and whether or not KOVA are eyeing up the latter exit of mid and wanting to push into ropes.
The hunt begins.
Then they come A heaven or B heaven. It is all the way around. Get pushed back out. They take their time. They're not overcommitting to it. But back out, they see the utility.
30
They
seconds
see
left.
what Human Tripwires are working with, and they're going to back all the way up into B, where there is Radsky lying in wait. One head taken out. He's going to have to do more than that. He'll find the spray onto 2 more players, and it's just Ali left. Spectre. There we go. There's the Vandal. 54 HP to work with, 15 seconds to work with, so he needs to run
10
straight
seconds
towards
left.
site where there is one player lying in wait, just waiting for that plant to come through. Tap!
Out of charges.
Mugger has no problems to get their first round in the half.
Spectre Vandal, do you think it's the Valorant equivalent of Duck Duck Goose?
Yeah.
You're just
Except-
sitting in a circle just being like, Spectre, Vandal. And I'm sure KOVA were wishing that they could sprint around the circle
Enemy remaining.
at that moment, right? The fact that you activated the trademark and then you pushed in to more of the trademark with that slow AoE means that Ratsky basically gets a vacation to the shooting range. And Human Tripwires are able to take that round handily. So we talked about KOVA finding momentum on their attacking round. We do need to take into account the fact that they were on better buys than their opponent, and now that Human Tripwires are on an even footing with the weaponry, they've definitely found more confidence to be able to hold aggressively which is a little bit more in vein to how this composition likes to play with, right? Radsky has to be in aggressive positions of this map when the round starts, so that you can find that information, relay it to the rest of your team. When you're lacking that cipher, you are relying on the contact with the chamber, giving away where KOVA are planning on hitting.
A very slow start to the round for these two teams. When we saw them on Haven, they couldn't get enough of running at each other. This time, it's a little slow. Shed takes a head off Radsky. That opens up a lot of space, taking down that Sentinel there. One of two. Oh, more work to do to fully get through all of their defenses, but it is going to be, once again, they head towards. Up in heaven, up for the ropes. See if it works this time.
30 seconds left.
Last time Radsky stopped you. This time Robbie doesn't quite have enough, but Embo is waiting around the corner. Takes down Shed once again, looking the wrong way. Ale there with the trade and brings out the showstopper as well. Nookie had no chance. It's just DEV0 left. We've seen him do more crazy things. Not this time.
Yeah, gets caught out climbing those ropes. Vicious is able to pick that up, and KOVA able to put themselves up onto double digits. Human Tripwires, it's not going to be the best of buys. They do still have both the Cosmic Divide, though, and the Tour de Force. The problem is that if you activate the Tour de Force and the Cosmic Divide in tandem, you're kind of countering one with your own teammate. Unless you can trap them on the other side of the map and use that rendezvous to bounce between the sides. Like a hectic game of ping pong, as Radsky is eyeing up mid this time around, and yeah, KOVA very much aware of the ultimate in play for the chamber, not going to be revealing themselves, not even to put Alira entirely cutting noise and seeing if Radsky's gonna play himself into their hands.
Okay. Has that sixth sense that somebody is up there, but that tripwire is kind of stopping him.
That's
Moving all the way through. Nah, he's going to stay around the corner.
Yeah, remember, Sutma has been there before, and that was actually the exact same position that Radsky was able to pick the Omen out from. So it is only the tripwire. But they've heard the TP, they know that there is pressure towards the A, and with that breach still being there, KOVA can't actually push into main knowing that the fault line is going to be there to stop them.
Well, KOVA get to move into sight once again. Get that spike down once again. Human tripwires have only managed to stop them once. But every time that spike has been planted by KOVA, they've come away with the round. Looks like it might be trending towards that direction. Once again, Shed takes down the tour de force of Radsky from close range. And all three remaining players stuck inside screens trying to fight their way out, but all they have are pea shooters compared to KOVA. Shed with 4 kills already, looking for the final player. But it is Ale that will take that one away and bring them one round closer to match point.
Yeah, Radsky, you can see, is fully aware of how fast you have to flick with that tour de force if you're going to be able to stay up in heaven. Does not have the time, has to go for the quick scopes to try and take out Sutma. And unfortunately, just getting delayed by that Omen means that Shed can just hop on out and pick you out. Is KOVA making sure that they just have 2 points away from taking this series away from Human Tripwires. Human Tripwires, however, the eco has paid off. They can afford the full rifles. They don't yet have the Rolling Thunder. They do still have the Cosmic Divide to play around with. Radsky is going to be able to get that rendezvous off in time. The Boombot checking to see whether or not the chamber was TPing in close, or if Robbie was going to try and get in and fill out for that absence.
Here.
Provide their time, keeping the spike in their spawn, and Vicious starts things off with a pick onto Radsky. Ever the duelist, not duelist. Here's Vicious. Now it's Robbie, left to defend the site by himself while his teammates rush over to help. KOVA haven't made themselves much space, and that means they might back out of this one and go back towards A, but it's not going to happen. Robbie sprays down Ale, but not before Ale can get a pick onto Mookie. DEV0 takes down Shed, but isn't ready for another player to come round the corner, and there's Sutma. Now a 3v2, and this is the time that they choose to head all the way back round to mid, all the way back towards B Heaven. Right site choice, I feel like. Oh, but there's Robbie with another pick and another pick. Vicious knows exactly where he is and will take that one down for free, but now it's a 1v1. He heals himself. He has free pick of exactly where to plant this spike, although he has to go on a little trek to get it.
Is Ember gonna go for Cosmic Divide though? Because he could use that lack of thank you. Doesn't really want to go into Astral Form in case Fish is a little bit closer.
Spike planted.
Knows that they have to plant that spike.
Oh, no.
And is gonna be able to take them out before Vicious is able to fall back into the back of sight.
Yeah, you do feel like if Vicious had taken the opportunity to grab that spike and plant it exactly where he was, he probably could have got a res off one of his teammates. Made it a 2v1, but did not happen.
Yeah.
Didn't know
KOVA.
exactly where Embo was going to be coming from, and that lack of knowledge really did make it that much more difficult.
And Ember on the other side can use the Q, the sound of that spike being planted, to be able to know how close Vicious actually is. And is very quickly moving in to make sure that they're able to capitalize before either the res can come through,
I'm going up.
or you can put yourself into a position that your shots come off first. As Shed, not going to be able to find that early level of aggression that KOVA have become accustomed to trying to set either Ally or Shed up for. Frontline, going to be stopping them from moving on forward. And DEV0, going to be sitting in with Ember. Stalwart defense of ramps. And having lost Ally towards the B site, unfortunately for KOVA, they want to push onto one of these sites. It is going to have to be off of mid control.
So, slow gravitation towards the middle of the map will occur. Meanwhile, Human Tripwires are happy to take a bit of space. Actually taken most of A, tag teaming their way up there. Out comes the res, but the wall is broken. Radsky will just keep Arley on the ground. He was up for a second. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Little trade. Oh, but they know exactly where he is. They tagged it. Look at the ping on the ground. They knew exactly where it was. They were ready for that one. Probably sent him back into the hellscape from whence he came, and now only 2 players remain on the KOVA side, even after getting rid of Radsky. Things compounded themselves, got a little worse for them. Vicious holding one side of sight. But Robbie isn't going to let him get away with that one. Robbie has been an absolute monster here on the B site. Yasmin has to fight his way out of this one. Neurotheft will figure out where the final 3 players are, but he's got 13 seconds to work with and knows that one player is on every side of him. Paint Shell does a lot of damage. He has no time to get that spike and get it down on the ground, but maybe he can get 1 kill, take away 1 weapon. He'll find one. That's all she wrote. 11 to 8. 11-teen. 11-teen.
Well, yeah, it is 11-teen, and for the first time in this half, we're going to be seeing the operator coming out from Radsky. As Human Tripwires are remembering the loop that it threw for KOVA, they're also seeing how hesitant this attacking side has become, and slow attacking teams are the operator's favorite food. You have so much time to be able to relocate, so much time to be able to get out of dodge nice and quickly. Oh, beautiful fault line lined up with the showstopper, and Yasmin is gone.
Yasmin didn't even have time to think. My man was setting up his setups there. He just wanted to chill for a sec. Be a bit of an anchor over towards there. No, DEV0 wasn't letting that happen.
Did Ember hear that
Luckily.
TP?
He seems very scared of that area of the map, so I would assume he does, at the very least, know that he could be there.
Yeah.
Know that that's unoccupied at the moment. Looker, however, uses that Rolling Thunder to get his way into A heaven, but Harley places his crosshair perfectly just to get the 1-tap. He doesn't need the rate of fire to be able to get that kill. Spike planted, however, for KOVA, and all they need to do now is hold off Human Tripwires for long enough. There goes the wall to slow him down. They immediately break.
It's given away the position, though, of at least a couple of players. DEV0 is going to be coming from main. Something that KOVA are expecting. If you can see Shed just hiding in rafters, Ally making it that the remaining members of Human Trip are not going to be able to have heaven control. You don't check it. He's able to find 1. He's able to find a 2nd. That charged up showstopper, and now you can pick up the 3rd.
That is a lot of work, and Vicious finishes it off to make it match point for KOVA. Only 1 more to go to give them just that little extra chance to get into the playoffs. Again, not confirmed no matter what happens here. but it would at least give them a fighting chance moving forward. And all they need now, 1 round.
KOVA have been able to adapt. They've been able to wrangle their mentality as well. The KOVA that we'd seen at the beginning of Split, if they'd lost a member that early on to a showstopper like that, they would have lost a lot of confidence. But they're able to regain that ground. This time, they're expecting the fault line. Yeah, it's actually going to be nice, close personal. Pulls out the flashpoint. Still not able to punish the Reyna, but you are walking straight into the tour de force. There's the Leer. And Radsky chooses to abandon the position and come back for it.
Oh! Well, KOVA loses both of their duelists there.
I think
Cheers.
the camera as well, stuck on the crate.
Cheers. Shed's crying. Well, just got a little bit harder to get that 1 round on the board. Finish things off for KOVA. You might need to delay that excitement just a little more. They're now stuck a little bit in a corner. Players all over the place, but they seem to be towards A. They want to make some mid-control happen, but players from Human Tripwires are spread across the map.
I mean, Yasmin can hold this mid-control, especially now by shooting out that boom, but you know the Razor is there. If you make commotion onto the A and try and pull that rotation, at least cut Human Tripwire's team in half. The problem is that they have not figured out where Mucker is holding. And that breach sitting so far into backside can just wait for them to drop through, send the fault line, and then Robbie with that crossfire can pop out and clean up.
Oh, Vicious gets a kill. Yasmond is taken down, but the 2 players on site managed to get the spike on the ground. And at this point, fighting off 3 players is definitely not the craziest thing that KOVA have done. As a duo. They need to play it safely though. DEV0 taken down to 1 HP. Robbie tries to move in, using that wall, healed himself up as well. Sutma waiting for them to push into that one. Embo with a judge in hand is going to come around the corner and just spray through that, trying to find it, but DEV0 is taken down. Finished off by Vicious. Vicious finds his 3rd. Embo comes around the corner with the judge, 28 HP remaining, but he'll get the pick onto Vicious, and he'll get the spike defused, and he gives his team 1 more chance to get through into this series.
Oh. Well, if there's any map that we were going to get to see the judge pop off in close quarters, it's Split. It's Split.
Oh yeah.
I've stopped questioning it. And KOVA now are going to be faced with some problems, because for them, surely, they were thinking that was ours.
Yeah.
They were coming in on a far better buy. They'd been able to safely get onto site, surviving that fault line being thrown across. And now they're having to turn the other cheek and eco, because they know that their economy needs to be in a position where if Human Tripwires continue to win these rounds, they can at least all buy in to stand toe to toe.
Still just need to take 1 more step towards his victory. Yasmond opens things up with a pick onto Robbie. With the Spectre in hand, Ale takes down DEV0 as well. Luckily for them, Human Tripwires aren't on the best of buys themselves. Ale boosts himself in. A 1-tap with the Bulldog will finish off Embo. Radsky brings things back slightly more towards Human Tripwire's favor, but it's still now a 2v4. The spike is already down for KOVA, and this aggressive strat has worked out perfectly for them. Sutma taken down by Mucky from close range. Radsky finds Yasmin, but is traded out by Ale, and Vicious will close things up. The kill onto Mucky, 13-9, and KOVA give themselves 1 last chance to get through into the playoffs.
It's gonna be close, though, no matter what happens. They needed it to be clean 2-0s for both of the 2 matches that they had, and then it was the worst case scenario. Not only did it go to 3 maps, but the first half of Split, they started off losing rounds to their opponents. So it's not the round differential that they were hoping to post. However, getting to see that side swap, getting to see them looking far more comfortable once again on the attack, where they can be very proactive with their utility, made a world of it. And you could see, right, the fact that for them, they were the ones who could be like, okay, well, we want to use a lid to set shit up into position. We're going to get Shed set up into position. And even if the Reina didn't find the picks that they were looking for, we're gonna just talk over this so that KOVA don't have to think about it again. Even if Shed didn't find the picks that they were looking for, it was still drawing the attention from human tripwires, drawing out these really big, heavy-hitting utilities like that fault line, which allowed the rest of the team to then be able to push spaces like mid and set Yasmin or Ally up the flank.
Indeed. In the end, KOVA just managed to tip it over the line. They're fighting tooth and nail to stay in this group stage to make sure that they have a chance into the playoffs here, and by boosting human tripwires down a little bit, it does give them just a little more opportunity to get through here, but they've still got so much work to do, and they've still got so much they have to hope for from other teams, in that maybe they can lose a couple maps, maybe they can lose a game, maybe we can get a godsend to get all the way through into this one. Give ourselves one last chance, because I'll remind you, stage 1, they missed out on playoffs like just a couple maps, and this time they are going to either make it or miss out on it once again by just a couple of maps. Your winners of the series are KOVA, and the MVP is Ale with 322 ACS.
Yeah, that Raze was doing some serious work, where we were seeing the team being able to get that spike down into the ground, and then Ale was able to, because your Raze control heaven, control vent, snap back before human tripwires were able to organize their forces. And for Raze, with those utilities, the more players that you run into, the more damage that those utilities are going to be able to pull off. And for KOVA, yes, it's not the clean 2-0 that they were looking for. However, they are still alive. They still have the potential to be able to make playoffs, because remember, if they'd lost here, then not only would human tripwires have been emboldened into getting that 4th win that they were looking for, but KOVA would have been very likely knocked out of the entire running.
Indeed. Well, we have an interview coming up, and it is going to be the MVP from that map himself. Ale, are you here? How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Oh, my camera is a bit off, I think.
A little off to the side. All good?
Yeah, a little. Oh,
Fixable.
good, alright. Yeah, that's good.
Well, I mean, absolutely congrats. I mean, it was a very similar performance, actually, to your win against a very similar roster. It was London Esports back in Stage 1. Do you think you just have these guys' numbers, or maybe are they just a vastly different beast to the team they were, and it was a little more difficult this time?
I think they played good, to be honest. I can't say we stomped them or anything. They played good, and I think in the end, it came down to individual performance, but I still think they played really good. And we saw some changes from us today as well. I was on the duelist now, and that was a change we made last week, actually. So we were thinking we need to do a change, man. We need to do something to change it up and win all the games we have now.
Just in time.
So I have to ask, we see drastically different score lines when we see you guys on defense and then when you swap over into attack. Is there any reason why you find far more comfort and success when you're being the offensive team?
I think it has to come down to our comps right now, at least. Us having the double duelist, that makes us more of an aggressive team, and it makes us, open up more space and have more utility taking space as well with the duelists, and it helps us a lot on the attacking side. And yeah, on the defending side you lose a bit having 2 duelists, but you can make it work, of course.
Well, if I can dive into your mindset quickly here for just a little bit, it's obviously still a hard ask for you to qualify for the playoffs at this point. Left it down to the wire, but it could really come down to the performance of the other teams that are in the top 4 right now. Is it scary knowing that it's not really completely in your control, or is it just, let's just get our heads down, win the games we have left, and what comes will come?
Yeah, honestly, it's we don't know what's gonna happen. It's a scary situation, to be honest, but we'll win our game versus Alliance, and we're hope for the best.
So I'm sensing a lot of confidence going into your last match versus Alliance. Is there any particular reason? Are you guys doing extra training that you think you're going to be able to come out on top so easily?
I think you know, Alliance they haven't looked that good recently, and I think that's where the confidence comes from. But obviously I have respect for him still, and I think it's gonna be a great match. But I think we're gonna come on top, of course.
All right, well, I mean, congrats on the performance. Is there anything like you want to say to the other teams coming into this last one? You're not down and out yet, something like that. Obviously, you know, you have history in here. You have a lot of history as a team. Actually, quickly, you know, how much do you think that plays into your ability to win these games? Obviously, you play comps that are quite antiquated, maybe, you know, like old double duelist kind of thing. Do you think that's part of you being, you know, well kind of together as a team? You can play comps and it kind of works for you?
I think it has to do with the players we have. We have me and Shed, who is obviously really aggressive, and you know from the start we did play double duelist, but then we changed to me into initiator. That worked for a while, but recently we thought about it, and you know we should play to our strengths, right? So we changed it up and played double duelist, and yeah, and it has to do with our team. You know we have been playing for a while now, and we are playing to our strength now. So, yeah.
And you had a free map series where there were a couple of rounds where we sort of saw some mistakes, but then you guys immediately pulled it back without actually using a timeout. Is there any particular way that you keep your mental fortitude going strong for such lengthy series?
I think at this point it just has to do with us as a team. Like we usually just give ourselves a pat on the back. You know, it's okay. We just go next. You know, just keep it going. You know, keep the momentum up. And we usually don't take pauses, but I think it's still good to take. But this game we didn't really feel like it, so I think that's just why. I don't think there was a particular reason, but yeah.
All right, well, congratulations, Ale. Obviously, best of luck moving forward. Amazing performance on that last map. We all loved seeing you on the Duelist once again, so well done. And best of luck in your last week.
Thank you so much. See you guys.
Lovely talking to you, bye. So, that's it for our first match. I mean, one of the most exciting close games I have seen, and what a storyline to go with it. So, I think we all need a little break to calm down after that one, so we will head to a short break before we head into our second game, which is Finest versus Alliance, our first seed versus our last seed. Can Alliance get their first win, their first map even, on the board against this, probably their hardest opponent they've come up against here in the group stage, or will Finest boost their way up into the best contention for the top seed in the group stage that we've seen so far? We'll have to wait to find out just a little bit, but go get yourself some water, go get yourself a step outside for a little bit. It's quite warm outside today here in the UK, so maybe you need a little break. I need a little break. Let's head to a quick break.
Wally.
Yeah, Wally. Wally. Wally.
No, 100% Wally. I love him to death. He's not toxic with he's not toxic with us. He's toxic in rank, but he's 100% most toxic.
Yeah.
It's probably beating G2 on Ascent, 13-5. It was one of my first big officials. I remember feeling it feeling really good, so it has to be that.
I didn't plant the bomb on split.
That's a good one.
We were playing split overtime. It was a brawl, and yeah, we did some last second go plant the bomb calls, and time ran out, and I just jumped in bed crying, man. I think that would have changed a lot if we won that game, actually. So
Yeah.
instead, they got the free ride, so you know, it is what it is. That's why we're still trying to get that championship title, so we can erase that one, you know.
I think being open-minded is a key part of improving as a player, because this game is ever-changing, right? If you're locked in one way of playing, one way of thinking about the game, then I think you will not come far.
Something very important to going pro is learning to improve, because it's not as simple as just playing ranked and grinding the game. That's like you will get far, but you won't get to the top. Like Cider said, it's very important that you learn to talk as a team.
Me, 100%. Back when I used IGL, I forgot it every round. I would always forget either armor, my shotgun, everything, every round.
Intentional throwing. Yeah. Nah, I mean, it's not intentional throwing, it's more of a check out and doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
We had our old teammate John, he used to have all sorts of issues with his PC, but other than that, we're usually fine.